everyone, welcome to this video. And in this video, we're going to talk about sales tax. Now, sales tax is really important. It's mandated by the government. So, most of the government work, this is the budget that would work on, what do you call this, in the government spending. So, we as citizen or of every country, every place, tax is there. So, it's important for us to know how much is this one so that we will know what part would be given to the government. So technically this will be given to the government. Now, let's go with the word problem. So I also worked this word problem. I got this from a book of Next Century Mathematics, Making Math More Meaningful, grade 7 under the Phoenix Publishing. So now, let's have this word problem. So, the selling price of a t-shirt is 320 pesos. Now, there are two questions we'd like to answer. The first one is, how much sales tax will be imposed on the t-shirt if tax rate is 12%? And what is the total cost of the t-shirt? Now, when we talk about sales tax, it's technically like what we call on the basic, which is interest would be equal to principal amount, then the rate and the time. However, now let's contextualize this in the problem. So, we would know the sales tax. So, let's start now with part A. So we have now sales tax that will be equal to selling price, or what we call the selling price, and then multiply with the tax rate. So normally this is now just like the interest, principal, and then the rate. Now, working with that, we want to go with the sales tax. So, working with that, selling price is 320 pesos. Multiply by the tax rate, which is here, 12%. So, remember, if you're using now the percent, you will work that out as decimal. So, decimal would be times 0.12. Now, 0.12 multiplying 320 by 0.12 and then doing the process, that would be 38.40 pesos. So, this is now the tax for a shirt. So, that would be 38 pesos. So, we have now 38.40 pesos. Now, let's go on the total cost. So, what is the total cost of the t-shirt? Given that you have now the sales tax. Now, let's have some conjecture with that. So, we have now the total cost would be equal to the selling price plus the sales tax. So, selling price is 320 pesos plus the sales tax of 38.40. Therefore, when we add that, that would be around 358 pesos 0.40 centavos. So, when we talk about the t-shirt, when you pay now for this t-shirt, that would be 358.40 pesos. Okay. That is now our first problem. Now, let's go to our second problem. Okay. Our second problem now works with this one. Let's read this one. Mrs. Santos wants to know, let me correct that in context. The tax imposed on the laptop bought, that's a laptop. The laptop bought. The total cost of the gadget or the laptop is 56,000 pesos. When she asked the cashier for the sales tax, she paid the cashier and said it's 6,000 pesos. So, the sales tax is 6,000. So, how we're going to do that? So, the question is that there are two questions in this problem. What is the selling price of the laptop? Let me correct again. Of the laptop, and then what is the tax rate imposed on the price of the laptop? Okay, now let's solve that. Now, once again, on the conjecture, we have now the selling price, right? Remember, in our problem, the total cost would be equal to selling price plus sales tax. Now, here we need to reverse that. So we have now what we call on letter A. Remember, selling price would be equal to the total cost minus sales tax. So, we know our total cost. Remember that the total cost is 56,000 pesos. And the sales tax is 6,000. So, we can have now 56,000 minus 6,000. So, therefore, you have now the selling price as 50,000 pesos. And which is realistic. So, there are laptops that are worth 50,000. So, we could say that this is now 50,000 pesos. Now, working with another problem there or challenge is that what is the tax rate imposed on the price of the laptop? Now, remember that we do have now the selling price and we have now the sales tax, right? So, we could have now the tax rate would be equal to the sales tax divided by the selling price. Now, as you can see, the sales tax now is 6,000 divided by the selling price, which is 50,000, right? Let me emphasize the 6 here. Okay, now dividing that, we will get approximately 12%, 0.12, or in percentage, that will be 12%. So therefore, the tax rate is 12%. And I think we got now this problem. So there is a selling price and there's a tax rate. So let's have another problem so that we could look at it another case. So here's a problem. They say paid a total of 537.60 pesos on a food purchase. This amount includes a sales tax of 57.60 pesos. Now the question is, how much is the actual cost of the food and what is the tax rate imposed on the food purchase? Okay. So working with that, let's have now how much is the actual cost. So remember, when we talk about actual cost, we will work that out as on the letter A, same in the second problem. So first one, that will be selling price would be equal to total cost minus sales tax. Now, total cost is 537.60, which is here, minus the sales tax of 57.60. Now, subtracting that, we got now 480 pesos. So, we have now that the amount is 480 pesos. Now, what is now the tax rate? Now, the tax rate, remember, when getting now the tax rate, would be equal to the sales tax over the selling price. Breaking on the sales tax, that is 57.60 divided by 480. Once again, in decimal, that would be approximately 0.12. So therefore, that times 100. So I forgot that you need to multiply that to 100. So that you'll have now the rate, which is 12%. Okay, I forgot as well that you need to multiply it by 100 so that it's much clearer where does it work out, especially for the beginners. Okay, so those are problems related to sales tax. I hope you learned something with this video and have a great day. Thank you for watching.